The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Tuesday, the 7th day of January 2025. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medicals, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamel Hartman. She's Teray Tull. And Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in the news break brought to you by People's. Happy 2025 to you, Madame.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
How are you feeling today?
Excellent. 2025 has been so great so far. How has it been for you?
I mean, it's still early. But
you're like, I don't want to make any judgments, not yet.
Yeah, it's crazy because I'm different from most people. You know, I know most people don't make resolutions anymore according to social media, right? But I stopped making them in like 94, probably before both of you and mine. As a
definitely.
child. And I just look at a new calendar year as another opportunity to keep improving and living life better for my community, my family, and myself, right? So, yeah, I'm excited to get to another calendar year, and yeah, I'm grateful. I don't know what more I can say. Did you have a great holiday though?
I did. I love what you said about how you're grateful to see another year, because I love resolutions for that. Like, it forces you to reflect on the year before and think about the year ahead. So I'm with you on the gratitude. But I had a great holiday, honestly. Like, I had the most perfect Christmas and the most perfect New Year's Eve.
I love to hear it. I mean, I do. Outside of those insults you sent me during the holiday about my height. But hey, that's par for the course in this show. But no, I also had a great holiday. Did you do anything fun? Like, what did you do?
Well, it was fun for me. New Year's Eve, I cooked, I cleaned, I started a new book, and I was in bed by 9 p.m.
Okay, all right. I like.
What did you do?
For New Year's Eve, I mean, I've been in bed for the last 7 years. It's interesting to hear someone of your generation doing the adult thing. I mean, no diss to anybody who stays up. I'm just saying, but yeah. I mean, that's impressive. But yeah, I think one of the safest places to be on New Year's Eve is my bed. But holiday, I had a great time. I think I got to be in Bermuda with family, and we had a special dinner with my sisters and my family and parents. And then my two nieces and one of my sisters came up with me when I returned, and we went, did some stuff out here, like children's things and slime and aquarium and Coca-Cola factory. And
oh my gosh, I did that in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
I did that too when I was younger. Atlanta was one of my favorite places to visit. There's a lot of fun things. Isn't Martin Luther King Jr.'s house in Atlanta or something?
Yeah. That's where Dr. King was from, man. And so it was a great holiday with family, friends, and spent it with my godparents and family in Atlanta. And so happy to be here. But happy 2025 to the audience, and good morning to you as well, to, Mark Arthur C. Phillips. And he says, I'm so glad you are back. We're glad to be back. Marquita Lee says, Happy New Year, TDH. Happy New Year to you as well. Kathy Rogers says, good morning, TDH. Happy New Year. Love the new intro.
It was great.
Yeah, Maya does her thing, man. She don't take a day off. Michelle White says, Happy New Year, TDH and community. Kenton Trott says, Happy 2025, TDH family. Karen Simmons says, Good morning, TDH community. Happy 2025. Suzanne Ingham, awesome Tuesday. Jamal Teray, I missed you so much. Sniff, sniff. We missed you
Missed
guys
you
as well.
too.
Adeline Swan says, finally, sheesh. That was a long 2 weeks. Happiest New Year, TDH. Crazy thing, Teray.
Yeah.
Quite a few people ask me, why do I say happy 2025 and not happy New Year, right? And I was like, good pickup, right? But the reason I say it is because anyone who I've ever said on their birthday, I've ever greeted you, I say happy New Year to you then, because technically that's your new year. The calendar, that's why I refer to it as the actual year. So it's no real deep thought to it, folks. Trust me. Like nothing crazy like what Teo and Teray would do, but no, that's why I do it, because I usually say happy New Year on your birthday. That's it.
So question, right. So do you do resolutions on your birthday then? Like, is that when you do resolutions, or is it just no resolutions all around?
Like continuous, like I would start something next week. Like when it's interesting because people say I just go cold turkey on certain things. It's not like that I go cold turkey. I just make changes as life goes. You know, we just don't know what's can happen or will happen. So I think it's a constant thing. And I'm not saying everyone else should do that, but it works for me, right? It works for me in staying, healthy mentally, emotionally, and physically, just making constant changes, not waiting on a day or time to make the necessary changes in life. But to those who do, props to you, and keep going forward.
Yeah,
all right. Well, greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we look ahead to 2025. And, we're going to be talking about what a fairer Bermuda looks like, because I don't know about you all, but I've been bombarded on like my YouTube and throughout socials and the internet with some slogan called a fairer Bermuda. So I don't even know what that means. So we're going to discuss that today. What a fairer Bermuda looks like. Don't forget, if you haven't already, we've got a lot going on this year. We're going to be getting together to celebrate 5 years and 1,000+ episodes. So you want to make sure you're subscribed to our website and follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on and help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. We do have a new daily play today. New daily play. And on Mondays, the daily play will be reflecting Bermuda trivia. These questions are not going to be easy because, as you know, and one thing I'm very proud of with this show and Bermuda Trivia in particular is with Bermuda, it's very hard to get information. It's
Fact.
very hard. And so some of the answers to these questions, you're going to be able to go to your friends and your family, and you're going to be able to go to, wherever, work, and actually educate people with some of the things that we're going to be sharing with you. So have fun with it, but we hope that you take a lot away, because we're hoping these conversations with my co-host and our news team are even better this year than before. But enough of me. I need a drink of water. I just got from talking that much. But let's jump into today's conversation, Teray. Let's jump in.
Before we do, I have a question. You have a joke for today? How are you starting off the new year on that front? Did you get a new deck of cards? Did you join a new Facebook group? How are you coming on that front?
You know what? Because Teray asked, we're going to give you a joke. Maya's probably like, you really want to begin the year like this, Teray? But she asked, MP. She asked. So
you know what? I love dad jokes. I really do love dad jokes. They just have to be good, which is why I told you I think there's potential in your dig. You just have to kind of optimize it a little bit. Like you need to put in more work. But I'm along for the ride. I just need you to
Coach
up the ante.
Thanks for putting me in, though. All right.
Impress me with the joke.
I'm coming, folks. I'm looking to impress her today. Now I got to think of one between now and when Maya comes on. But real quickly, my phone was blowing up yesterday because people were like, when are you guys coming back on? You don't see that story about the BTA. And I'll put it to you like this. I have an opinion on it, and I may share it with you depending on how I feel.
Oh.
How about that? Yeah, I have an opinion.
Like that.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Let's jump into today. I said the question already. What does a fairer Bermuda look and feel like to you? I mean, we hear the slogans. It's an election year in Bermuda. You're going to be bombarded with ads, right? It's one of those things where, the former CEO of Fox, I think it was Roger Ailes said it. And if you know anything about Fox, the company is just horrendous in terms of how they have historically used media to drive their political views and perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But he basically said the truth is whatever people believe, right? I don't remember the exact quote, but that's basically what he said. And I think when it comes to politics and slogans, that's pretty much what it comes down to. It doesn't really come down to the best candidate for the position winning. We know that. It comes down to who fights the most, who can, the best boxer doesn't always win. The best team doesn't always win. Just this Sunday, Teray, Liverpool and Manchester United played.
Oh,
everyone was
basketball.
Oh my goodness.
I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm literally joking.
No, it's football. That's where they use their feet. That's your joke of the day, folks. But in saying that, it's just hilarious. I love that. But in saying that, everyone was expecting Liverpool to trounce Manchester United, and it was a draw, right? I forgot the point I was making. But anyway.
Sorry.
Getting back to what we're talking about, with politics, with slogans, at the end of the day, it's a fight. And I remember what I was saying. A fight really comes down to, as the old saying goes in the NFL, any given Sunday or any given day, anyone can win it. And with politics, it really depends on how people feel the day they go to the polls, unless they've been indoctrinated by ads and political speak. So the question of the morning is, what does a fairer Bermuda look and feel like to you? You see the slogans. What does it feel and look like to you? What do you believe? Well, first off, before we get into that, do you think Bermuda is a fair place to live for you? You as the individual, do you think it's a fair place to live for you? Yes or no?
Yeah, I'm curious to see what people say.
Yeah, I mean, for me, do I believe Bermuda's a fair place to live? Here's my answer to that. I don't currently reside in Bermuda.
Yeah.
Here's a deeper answer to that from me. When I left Bermuda the second time around, it was not a fair place for me because as a Black male, I was subjected to what we deemed modern day forced labor, aka slavery, which was conscription. Based on that law, it was not fair. I have some friends, and a friend of mine, she just moved to Maryland with her wife. It was not a fair place for them to live. You hear me?
Yeah.
So I need people to be honest. It can be economically for you. It could be social for you.
Yeah.
It can be academically for you. It could be racial. And please, don't be afraid to say, yes, you believe it is fair. Just because it's unfair for me doesn't mean it's not fair for Teray. What are your thoughts, audience? Actually, I mean, did you feel Bermuda was fair for you when you left as a student?
I left Bermuda when I was either 16 or 17. So I was very young, and I haven't lived there for longer than 4 months since then.
Mm-hmm.
So it felt like it was fair. I mean, I went to all public schools, so everyone there was mostly Black. Like, all of my friends are mostly Black. So I don't know. I felt like my identity was reflected to me in a way that was helpful for my self-esteem and stuff. But when I go back now, I think because of the things that I've done, like because of the things that I have now, I feel very comfortable. Like if my life was to move to Bermuda in the next 2 years, I think I would be okay. Of course, there are problems. Like I think it can be fairer. But do I think it's fair enough for me to say, okay, this is a place for me to settle? Yes.
But I like the way you answered that. And I think that's all we're looking for, folks. Honesty. Like it's about you, your perspective, how you feel. But I think, as I said, I mean, you were young as a student, your perspective may have differed. Now, if you live there today, it may be very different, right? As you're 7, 8 years later. Let's go to the audience, see what the audience thinks. Again, what does a fairer Bermuda look and feel like to you? And do you think Bermuda is a fair place to live for you? Sean Smith says, no, because I don't live there. Yeah, that's kind of what I said. Yeah, okay. Michelle White says, for me, yes. But anyone who is truly struggling, money, housing, education, scholarships, may not think so.
Yeah, that's true.
But I like how she said, for me, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Because again, all of our experiences are going to be different. Nicole Hassel says, for me, and now I cannot afford to live here and will be leaving as soon as I can get my pension. In the 80s and 90s, it wasn't this hard.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
Here's the thing with that, Teray. I think politically, it's being looked at as we're going to create a fairer Bermuda. And I like the way she did that. Is she compared today to yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah. Adeline Swan says, yes, Bermuda is fair. No. I'm not asking you if Bermuda is fair. I'm asking is what we're asking you is, do you think Bermuda is a fair place to live for you?
Mm-hmm.
For you. I don't think any of us can say Bermuda is fair or unfair. This is an individual thing. This is for each person. I don't sit here and tell anyone that the United States is the greatest place to live. Even if I did believe that, I know that's not the feeling of so many others, especially those who look like me.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what you just said, Jamal, really made me think, like, how do we measure fair? Like, what is fair to somebody? Because you initially said that Bermuda wasn't fair when you were there before because of conscription. So it sounds like you were restricted by somebody who wasn't yourself. So like your agency was limited, therefore it wasn't fair for you. So I'm just curious, like, how do we measure fairness as like individuals and then collectively? I think my intuition is saying like basic needs being met, kind of like a Maslow's hierarchy. That's first and foremost. And then the opportunity to like do passion projects, I think, is at the top of it, like enlightenment. So that's what I'm thinking about when I think about like what fair looks like. It looks like non-interference, as you suggested with like conscription, but also like the ability and I guess the belief that there is a way forward, like external efficacy as well as internal efficacy.
Indeed. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. And I after Michelle said, for me, yes, Bermuda's, she believed Bermuda is fair. I'm glad I think you mentioned Maslow as well, but I wanted to actually go there, and I'm glad this is why we have great co-hosts who have the intellectual capacity to follow up with that, because I wanted to say, what does that fair look and feel like to you? Because I explained why it was not fair to me because of conscription. So for those who say Bermuda is fair for them, what makes it fair for you? And for those who say it's not fair, like how Nicole Hassel gave an example, what makes it unfair? That's the way, that's how we progress when we actually go a bit deeper. So instead of political slogans saying, a fairer Bermuda for all, what does that look like? Because a fairer Bermuda for me may look very different from a fairer Bermuda for Teray, as stated earlier, right? David Michael Wilson says, fair is subjective and my level is not yours. That's said for me. No, absolutely. You said that this morning. But if you don't mind, again, we're engaging here. This is our community conversation. This is the place to have community conversations. There's no judgment here.
Yeah.
What is not fair for you, David Michael Wilson? And the reason that these conversations are important is because very soon, if you haven't already, you're going to have politicians on your doorstep. And when they come on your doorstep, they're going to be talking about a fair Bermuda. You can't just say Bermuda's not fair to you. You need to explain to them why Bermuda's not fair for you. Because you just saying, oh, it's not fair. If I just said, oh, Bermuda's unfit, it's not fair, it's discriminatory, whatnot. Well, how are they going to, they're not going to probably fix it, but how are we going to tell them to fix it, right? Suzanne Ingham says, no, it's a struggle to be able to live here. So for her, it's a struggle. You know? Sean Smith says, but seriously, if things get tough, I can move anywhere inside this country and my economic situation can greatly improve just like that. Inside of what country?
Sounds like the American dream to me.
Is he talking about the US? What?
Or the UK? I mean, is there a British dream?
well, don't get me started on dreams, because the American dream is a nightmare if that. But yeah, I mean, the American dream is capitalism. It's just to keep the billionaires billionaires. Let's just.
True.
But
Kenton Trot says Bermuda is not fair to me because I constantly have to fight against systems that should be empowering young Bermudians. I am not asking for a handout. I am asking for a fair chance.
Teray,
That's real.
Understand him. I do. I get it. It's relatable for so many people who I know. And folks, I don't. Let's be very clear about these conversations we're having here. This is not complaining. This is community engagement. This is a way for whether the politicians tune in and are engaging or not. You may have a politician. Kenton Trott may never see his MP. But Marquita Lee or Hedley Swan or Charles Jeffers or Trevin Trotty, you may see your MP. You can carry Kenton's concern to that conversation. Some people may have better relationships with MPs. These community conversations are meant to move the needle.
Yeah, Jamal, you're on fire today, because that relates to what you said earlier this morning. You said it's hard to get information in Bermuda. And I think that also relates to what you're talking about now. Like, it's hard to connect to people that you don't really know. Like, it's hard to make those connections and get information about what's happening right now, because we have like a culture of secrecy. So the Daily Hour, I think, is one of the only places where there's real, raw, and honest conversation. So I really do appreciate the audience for being so honest about something that can be very vulnerable.
Indeed. And thank you for that, Teray. Let's go through a few more comments. What we're going to do, folks, is we'll have to continue this conversation. Then we'll bring Maya in for an extended news break, because she's probably got a lot to discuss after 2 weeks off. And then we'll likely, I'm not sure what she has in her news break, but again, depending on how I feel after the news break, I may shift it to our good friends at the Bermuda Tourism Authority, depending on how I feel. I don't know if you all want to hear my opinion on the Bermuda Tourism Authority and Hazel Clark's departure. If you haven't seen it, go check out our friends at the RG. And let's be clear, folks. Just put an email address in the RG. You don't have to pay her.
Yeah.
Just do it. Like stop. Anyway, I'm not preaching to you.
It's right.
Go ahead.
Let's go to Marquita Lee. She says, yes for me, but those looking for employment, it's not. Employers are looking for college degrees to be a receptionist. They struggle to get entry-level jobs and move up the ladder. I'm sorry to hear that. This person says, that's really hard to answer. As a single person, living there was hard, and I struggle with watching colleagues make money in Bermuda, but then be able to go back to their home countries and buy homes. Karen Simmons says, yes, it's fair for me. My needs are being met, but not fair racially for Black women from my perspective. Sean Smith is in Portugal. Oh, wow. Okay. David Michael Wilson says, job-wise, the educated versus the non-educated, that's the biggest gap, actually. Jamal, did you know that before it was like the largest gaps were class-based, race-based, but now the largest gaps emerging in the world are education-based. So this is very real. Kiara Renee BDA says the word fair has a different definition for me, which I do not have enough word space to explain. LOL. Michelle White says, for me, I am able to live unrestricted except for general prices and taxes. Will I feel this way when I reach my time to retire? My opinion may change. Yeah, I love that too. Charles H. Jeffers II says, fair, subjective. For some, having good health and being surrounded by family is fair. That said, with families moving abroad, fairness is likely declining for many. I love that Charles H. Jeffers said that, because when you asked me, do I think Bermuda is fair? I thought about what my life would look like if I did move to Bermuda in the next years. And I was like, will I be able to start a family? Will I be able to do the things that are important to me in Bermuda, given the people, given the circumstance? So yeah, there are also non-economic considerations about fairness. Yeah. Michelle White says, no longer dialogue about tourism, please. Let's stay focused. Period. Mark Arthur C. Phillips says, a fair Bermuda is a nation where one part of society is not standing on the necks of others to get ahead.
In hearing those responses, it seems like there's one common theme And if it's to be believed based on the intellect of this audience about fear being subjective and fear meaning so many different things, then how can we accept a political slogan with the term fear in it? I think we should think about that. And when I say think about it, is many people will be going to the polls this year. And when they go to the polls, people will be voting for different reasons to race. Some because, I say this respectfully, they've been indoctrinated to vote against one party. They've been indoctrinated to vote for one party. They truly believe in the ideals of one party. Or they believe that their lives are not where they want it to be and it's time for a different option. There's so many different reasons.
Yeah.
We don't know what people do once they get it in the box and put their X or a tick wherever. What I will say is, this is your life, right? Legislation and policies. My former lawyer used to say all the time, the easiest way to determine how to vote is ask yourself one question. How are you living today compared to how you were living prior to the election prior?
So retrospective voting.
There you go.
That question came in from one of Youth Connect's audiences. They were like, please ask the premier if he thinks we're better off in 2024 than we were in like 2010 or early 2000s. We couldn't ask, but it's a good question to think about.
The answer would be yes. And that's politics. He can't say anything else. He can't. He would say yes, and he will go into numbers. But we're going to be talking about a lot about this in subsequent. It's an election year. This show started the year of the last election. We weren't doing a lot of politics, but we spoke of it. It's going to be a bit different. Let's go to a commercial break real quickly, and then we'll come back and we'll bring Maya Palacio in for Daily Hour News Break. So give us about 2 minutes, 58 seconds, and we'll be back. We'll continue. But in the meantime, do us a big favor. Let's get it right this year.
Yep.
Right. Give us a like, a love, follow, share it, right? And if you don't know how to like, love, share, send us a message. We'll teach you. But there's no reason we can have 100+ people tuned in. Yeah, I see you.
Hi.
There's no reason. And as Mark Arthur C. Phillips says all the time, we only have a few people showing us love. Stop being selfish with the conversations, audience. We'll be back after this.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's, I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick, tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
Unlock your business potential with BDC's General Microloan, offering up to $30,000 for Bermudian small and medium businesses. Whether it's for inventory, working capital, or equipment, we provide 100% guarantee on approved loans. Simple application, low interest rates, and fast processing. Apply today and make your business dream come true.
Looking for the best care for your pets? Novazok Feed and Supply has everything you need, from top quality foods to toys and supplies. We've got it all. Join our frequent buyer program and earn rewards every time you shop. Plus, we've been awarded the Clever Customer Initiative Program for helping you save more. And don't forget, we open an hour early on Saturdays so you can get a head start on your pet care. Visit us today or shop online for easy pickup or delivery. Your pets will thank you.
Live exceptionally with HSBC MasterCard Pay with Rewards. Transform your points into what you love and get closer to winning an unforgettable trip to Dubai or one of 3 luxury experiences in Bermuda. To start following these steps, download the Pay and Rewards app from the App Store or Google Play. Register your HSBC MasterCard credit card in the app. Set your preferences to use points automatically or for your next purchase. Use your HSBC MasterCard for every purchase and redeem your points into rewards. In addition, for every $300 spent with your HSBC MasterCard, earn a chance to win an incredible monthly experience. Terms and conditions apply. HSBC is licensed to conduct banking and investment business by the Bermuda Monetary Authority.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. She's Teray Tall. I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lenders, and People's Pharmacy. Folks, please do not forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. I just want to give a big shout out and thanks. So every year I send an email to everyone who appeared on the Daily Hour at the end of the year. Unfortunately, it happens with our team as well. Those who have Gmail addresses, I didn't see until, because I was off. I didn't see emails. Everyone who appeared on the show that had a Gmail address did not get my holiday email and my thank you email at the end of the year. So sincerest apologies if you think that we weren't grateful and I didn't thank you. But if you had a Gmail address, you would not have received that. But I just want to send a lot of love, and especially to those in the audience who came on recently, Rosalind Famous, Traveling Trotty, everyone who appears on the show has the courage to engage this audience. We appreciate you, and we're grateful that you trust this platform enough to do so. And real quickly, before we bring Maya in, we did have a couple comments on the Instagram as well, and it came from Vote FDM Bermuda, which I believe is the FDM political party's page. But comments from there, they said, "Good day. We encourage Bermudians to rethink the use of the word fair as it often lacks real substance. Fair holds little weight in the face of unaffordable living costs, crumbling infrastructure, neglected government responsibilities, and a society offering minimal upward mobility. It's time we focus on real solutions, not vague buzzwords." Indeed. Now, let me not agree with that, because what I don't want is Bermudians to think that, they started saying this about me last year, that I was working with the FDM or I'm on the FDM team. People, I'll tell you today, and I'm going to tell you as real as I can, this guy ain't down with political parties. I'm not. You can ask anybody who talks to me about politics. I don't care your ideologist. I don't care your race. I don't care what you did that benefited me 50 years ago before I was here. I care about today. Your vote will not be based on me being a part of your political party. I've been there, done that, ain't going back. All right, let's bring Maya in before I go on another rant.
Thanks for clearing it up.
Hey, MP.
Good
Morning, Maya.
Morning, Teray. Morning, Jamal.
Oh, wow. Monterey. Like,
Look, I'm trying.
yeah.
You are trying, Maya. Don't listen to him.
Thank you.
Anyone you take issue with this morning, it should be Teray. She's the one that asked for a joke.
I know I thought you were going to say it before I came on.
Oh, sorry. I saved it for you. How are you? How was your holiday?
You know what? It was very nice being back in Bermuda. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like, I had spent so much time with my niece, more than I ever had, and it was a joy. It really was.
Oh, I love that. How old is your niece?
She is 2, but she's turning 3 this month, at the end of this month.
Okay.
Is that Capricorn or Aquarius?
Actually, I think she's actually on the cusp after. I don't know where that.
What's her birthday? I'll tell you.
26?
26. She's an Aquarius.
Aquarius. If I'm wrong, my sister will tell me, but I'm pretty sure it's 26.
I love that you got to spend time with your niece. I mean, and she's 2, turning 3, right? You said?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And because I'm always out here, like, you never know how much they know you, but sometimes I'll be calling my sister and, like, we'll FaceTime on occasion. But as soon as I came back, Auntie Maya, I was like, oh, this is cute.
But does she get to see you on like video and stuff? Like,
Yeah. Like, we will video, like, FaceTime and stuff like that on occasion. But it's really cool that, like, she, like, recognized you immediately and she was, like, super happy to be around me. So that was fun.
does she talk to you when you're on video?
Yeah, she could talk.
No, I mean, well, my niece doesn't talk to me, and then you know, she came here, and well, let's just say this much: I have 2 bathrooms in my place, and when she left, one of the toilets weren't flushing, and it wasn't plunging, and I started to get suspicious, and I took this picture. I'll send it to you guys. I should share it publicly. Shame my 1-year-old niece. I took a picture of her trying to open the door of my second bathroom. It's like, God. Long story short, we believe the culprit put toys down my toilet. And so, yeah, so your niece probably didn't greet you that way, did she?
Oh, no. It was like a good hug. And then, like, I got her a ton of Play-Doh because she's been into Play-Doh recently. And so for Christmas, I actually just packaged up each and every Play-Doh. So she opened them one by one. Same next one over and over, excited each time. So I was like, look at me.
Number one auntie there. Number one auntie.
Niece to Maya's niece, because my niece, we took her to the slime factory. She wouldn't even touch the slime. Like, yeah, what are you doing? Don't put that on. Yeah, so yeah. We're going to send my niece to your niece for some, niece training. Cool.
She's a social butterfly. She'll make friends with anybody. So yeah.
True Aquarius.
Yeah. So what you got for us today, MP? I know it's a lot. Give it to us.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. This is your Daily Hour news break brought to you by the great people at People's Pharmacy. So we're starting out the news break with just a bit of a recap of some information, some stories that you probably may have missed in the coming last 2 weeks or so, and a little bit of highlights, closing off with probably the latest top news story that is going on currently right now in Bermuda. So here we go. Let's listen in. We begin with an update from the government. The Minister of Education, the Honorable Diallo Bain, has commenced an extended period of medical leave. During this recovery, which is expected to conclude by the end of the month, the Honorable Crystal Caesar will step in as Acting Minister of Education. Next, the Ministry of Transport has announced significant reforms to the driver's license renewal and vehicle inspection process. According to Minister Wayne Furbert, changes to the Motor Car Act of 1951 will remove the requirement for a medical examination for most drivers under 70 years old and reduce the frequency of vehicle inspections for newer vehicles. These reforms aim to simplify the process, reduce administrative burdens, and make it more convenient for road users, all while maintaining safety standards. Turning now to law enforcement, the Bermuda Police Service had a busy holiday season. Between December the 24th and January 2nd, officers responded to approximately 250 calls for service, made 47 arrests, and conducted 315 stops. Among those arrests were 9 for impaired driving, 21 for various offenses including theft and assault, and 17 for outstanding warrants. The Bermuda Police Service proactive measures included laser speed checks and road sobriety tests aiming to keep our roads safer. In a moment of solemn reflection, Premier the Honorable David Burt signed a book of condolences for the late President Jimmy Carter at the U.S. Consulate. President Carter, who passed away at the age of 100, was remembered for his dedication to service and peace. Premier Burt highlighted the strong relationship between Bermuda and the United States, noting President Carter's lasting impacts on both nations. And now, on a more celebratory note, Dandytown Hornets have claimed the Friendship Cup with a 3-1 victory over PHC Zebras. Meanwhile, the Boulevard Blazers secured the Shield Trophy with a 2-1 win against SCC. In more local sports news, Bermuda's triathlon star and Bermuda's only gold medalist for the Olympics, Dame Flora Duffy, is set to take on the 2025 T100 Triathlon World Cup, with strong finishes in last year's PTO races, including a podium placement in Las Vegas. All eyes will be on her as she continues to make waves on the global stage. We've got some heartwarming news to start the year. Bermuda's first generation beta baby, Orion Xavier Smith, was born on New Year's Day to proud parents Danielle Joe and Boulevard Blazers Anthony Smith. Later that day, a second bundle of joy arrived, Aris Amir Simons, born to Samaya Casey and Aaron Simons. Mark your calendars, the 84th Annual Agricultural Exhibition is set to return to the Botanical Gardens from April 24th to the 26th. It promises to be a fantastic event for the whole family. Finally, looking into the latest news story, Senator Dwayne Robinson has expressed concerns over the resignation of Olympian Hazel Clark from the Bermuda Tourism Authority. Hazel Clark was said to have played a key role in attracting diverse opportunities as the BTA's Director of Global Business Development and Partnerships until she resigned last month. Her departure was described by a former chief executive of the Tourism Authority as a significant setback for Bermuda's tourism recovery. Citing the need for transparency and a thorough investigation to the workplace culture at the BTA, Senator Robinson calls for immediate action to address these ongoing issues.
I have so much to touch on. A lot of
You ate. Sorry, Jamal. I just have to say, you ate. That was excellent.
Yeah, but it was. But I have to say what I'm going to say. I send whatever's going on with the Oliver Band, Minister of Education, warm thoughts. Definitely, whatever it is, we want him to get healthy. And so just want to send that. Boulevard Blazers and Dandy Town, congratulations. May that be the last trophies you win for the season that North Village is involved in.
And SEC, hello.
Who'd your grandfather play for? Thank you.
I played for SEC.
We're going to have a chat with this young lady. I want to touch on Dame Flor Duffy. When Maya came up with that story, to Ray, what I thought she was going to say is that she would announce her retirement. And I was so happy with what Maya said. I was like,
me too.
She's not retired. So thank you for that. And the last thing I want to say, I'm going to touch on the Bermuda Tourism Authority real quickly. And I want you all to understand how this translates before we get into anything else. So according to what Maya just said, right, that we've lost what I would say is one of the BTA's most valuable assets, right? Let's be honest, that's what Hazel Clark was, right? Non-Bermudian and still loved. That just shows you how effective people believe she was.
Mm-hmm.
But since the organization's inception in 2014, this has been the norm. And unfortunately, this norm has been acceptable for way too long. But for the purpose of this, for the purpose of what I'm about to say, let's just speak on what Maya just shared. So this organization that's responsible for tourism in Bermuda has failed to deliver. Now, let me just be very clear about my bias. I am a former employee of the organization. My position was made redundant from that organization about 6 years ago, right? But it has failed to deliver. And before anyone thinks that this is just going to be a criticism of the Bermuda Progressive Labor Party, it's absolutely not. The organization has failed to deliver from inception. Just because the previous government and the white leadership made it look better and sold it better doesn't mean that it was doing well. Let me be very clear with that. It's a new calendar year. That does not mean I'm not going to be an equal opportunity offender. I don't like either of you, but I love the community. So the words that I share and speak are going to be for the love of people and community, not for you guys. But let me continue. So in fairness to the organization, right, in fairness to them, they've been up against it, right? We had a pandemic, right? That was always going to impact tourism.
Mm-hmm.
And then coupled with the pandemic, Bermuda lost its biggest hotel property, 593 rooms, which is Fairmont Southampton. So it was always going to impact tourism. However, let's not be fooled. It was always retracting prior to that. The pandemic and the shutdown of that hotel just sped it up. Now, I'm sure you guys had a professor or two that you liked, or maybe a director of your programs in college. Well, I had a director. He was the director of my MBA program, and he once said this. He said, you can have the best product, prices, marketing. But if you don't have the right people, business is bound to fail. With Hazel Clark, many in the community, especially stakeholders, right? Because hoteliers have commented, right? If you read the stories, felt the BTA finally got it right with Hazel. Let's be honest. While tourism numbers have been in a steady decline, they've been in the pits. Let's just be real. The one thing that the community and stakeholders have praised has been the sports tourism numbers. They've praised sports tourism. So how did we get here? How did we get here? Well, I remember asking a former PLP senator in the Daily Hour if he'd ever return to politics. And he stated that he doesn't have the ego for it. It was actually a very brave comment to make. And I think what he meant is, and he explained is, to be in politics, you need a certain level of ego. You need an ego. And like politicians are ego-driven, so are many leaders in small towns with any sort of power. And whether we like it or not, Bermuda is a small town. So let's start with the political chairman of the Bermuda Tourism Authority and then go down from there. Hazel Clark is actually everything Bermuda needed to at least maintain some sort of tourism relationships and success. However, it's likely that some weren't happy with her shine and the plaudits she likely received. Security has given us the political leadership we currently have, and you see the results of how that's working out for Bermuda. Tourism is already struggling. What we don't need is more ego-driven leadership. We need more Hazel Clarks. I'm going to use these two young women who are on this show with me. I was pretty much finished high school when Maya was born, and I was in college by the time Teray was born. Yeah, I dated myself, and I'm okay with that. But I can literally, I was just thinking last night, I said, man, got me a bit emotional. From Sherry, the oldest person on the show, she's 50 now, yeah.
Leave Sherry alone.
From Sherry right down to Teray. Every last one of them taught me something last year. Someone said earlier, oh, I love the new intro for the show. I said, yeah, Maya don't take no days off. Folks, very little to do with this show was my idea. Whether it's the thumbnails, it's the backgrounds, I don't need credit for that. My ego is not big enough to want my name or my face on front of everything. If I'm a part of something that's successful, I'm happy with that. If I'm contributing to that success. I want you to understand this. Hazel Clark resigning from the Bermuda Tourism Authority equates to one thing: Bermuda losing again. I'll leave it at that.
Anything to add there, Tui?
I would just say it sucks because it feels like we're losing talent, both in the form of numbers leaving the island, but also talent not being able to be retained in very important positions. But yeah.
Yeah. Before I move on to the next story, was also just mentioned throughout the Gazette article, and we've heard it already, that so many people have actually left the BTA. So they are looking into it. At least that's what the minister Owen Dow has said, and that he should be getting some sort of understanding on it or update on it. But yeah, so we'll look to that. So when they have an update, I'll have an update for you as well.
I'll say one more thing on that since you shared that, because I was trying to stay away from that. But I'll say this much: you ever heard about the police investigating the police?
Mm-hmm.
You really think we'll ever get real justice if the police investigate the police? Folks, fire Wayne Keynes from the chairman of the BTA if you want real change. Our problem in Bermuda is that we think because we like people or because they go to our church or because they preach to us that they mean well. If nothing else this year, folks, if nothing else, stop letting charity make you believe people are good people. Stop letting volunteerism make you believe people are good people. The greatest volunteers and charitable people are those who you never know whether or not they've given $1, but you know they've given their heart, their love, and their time. Not because they tell you, but because others tell you. Fire Wayne Keynes as the chairman, and I guarantee you'll see change. You won't see that. And that's why this will continue to happen. And unless the people of Bermuda, unless every last Bermudian says, you know what? I'm tired of being a loser. Yeah, I said it. Unless we say we're tired of losing, we will continue to get, because there's one thing I didn't mention this morning. Teray shared an article with the TDH group. Took me a couple days to remember my password for the RG. Anyway, had to reset it. And I finally got in. It was by Beverly Connell. And it was regarding the disbarment of the former Attorney General's husband, Myron Simmons. Teray, how many days? It took me 3 or 4 days to read it. But anyway, I got my password sorted out. But the letter was so well written by Miss Connell. But folks, it shouldn't take Jamel speaking or these letters written. Like, would you let someone come into your house and take everything that you own? So why allow people to use political office, political appointments to take everything you work so hard to maintain? Stand up for yourself. Stop waiting on other people to fight. You're afraid to lose your job. Your job's going to be going anyway. You've got people on social media the first week in this month saying that a single mother needs blankets and some place to stay. Guess who's not asking for that? The people who are taking your tax-paying dollars and living lavishly. And lavishly doesn't mean in spending billions and millions. It just means literally, to me in this time, living on money they are not earning to live a life they would not have without the unethical politics that we, the people, or you, because I can't vote, are allowing to take place. Stand up. If not now, when? Continue. I'm sorry.
No, I was just thinking that we've definitely been away for a while, guys. A lot to get off the chest. But trying to move on to the next piece of news that we got here. The Premier, the Honorable David Barrett, did sit down with Bermuda Youth Connect last night. There was a good lot of conversation about the corporate income tax that was said, but there was also a lot being talked about on the terms of things that I've been trying to focus on here on the show. You heard me talk about before, the new Petty Amendment. So RJ Peets, one of the founding members of Bermuda Youth Connect, actually brought up a World Gazette poll to the Premier that said that most people do not agree with the changes. And here was the Premier's response. But just to remind everyone what we know about the amendments, it's the Petty Act request will now be a fee of $60 per hour if the request exceeds over 16 hours for them to find research. And they can also reject it if it takes over 100 hours. So that's what we know. Here's what Premier Barrett said in his response to this poll from the Gazette.
So the one thing I'll say is that I'm not going to certainly recognize a Royal Gazette poll as being scientific or representative of the public. But what I can say is that, first of all, there is not a fee for Petty requests. So that is misleading and false. There is no fee. That is the one thing the minister made it very clear about. there is no fee for patty requests. There are some countries that do have a fee for patty requests. We do not have a fee for patty requests, and there is no fee that's put in. A fee is going to be put in place if a search exceeds 16 hours. Most searches are handled very quickly, very simply. Someone's looking for a piece of information, looking for this, looking for records, and different things like that. But we also have to make a balance, because the reality is that when we're talking about the government having to deliver service, the persons who are doing this research are taken away from the duties of which they're doing insofar as serving the public. So whether that be in healthcare, whether it be in the police, whether it be in education, those type of issues, these are public officers and civil servants whose regular jobs do get uprooted when having to deal with these complex requests.
Okay, so you heard it there. I know it may sound a little contradictory, like there's no fee at all, but then saying, yes, there is a fee. Again, to reiterate, it's no fee to send a petty request unless it exceeds over 16 hours. That's the statement. That's what you basically need to know. So that's what came out of that there. And that's the story for now, as we continue talking about the petty amendments.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Joe, I couldn't hear you there.
Sorry, he said, depending on how long it takes. And I think someone had a valid question when you first did the story last year, or the last time you did it. And they said, who's to say that they can't purposely take a long time just to get a fee? Like, it's so much wrong with his statement. But let me address what he said first. Bro, it's 2025. Stop with the BS. Oh, it's not a scientific pill. I'm not taking it seriously. David Burke, if you want to keep dismissing how people feel because you have a problem with the entity, that's on you. And I hope that people respond accordingly. There are people on this show this morning that have opinions. Their opinions may not be scientific, but it's how they feel. If you want to dismiss it simply because they're tuned into the Daily Hour, people, please make them feel how you feel. That's all I'm going to say to that. Stop being so arrogant and dismissing the feelings of people. Seriously, bruh. Don't act like if it was scientific, you would feel any differently. That's just who you are.
Well, closing off with this last piece of news. So I actually got a tour of Makerspace. So Makerspace, if you don't know, is up at Cedar Bridge Academy. We talked about it last year as well. Just a place for the brand name creatives to be able to go and access a space that they can, continue painting or doing any types of medium of arts that they do. So it is understood that there's going to be a vetting process, which means that in order to actually use the space, you would have to get a tour the first time, and then you'd have to also be given a code of which you cannot share with anyone. So it's also kind of like a respectability thing, to hoping that when you give them this code, you still have to sign a waiver as well, that you don't share it with anyone else. So that's like a little bit of pieces that we do know of. I asked primarily about like the phases, like, because we know that this was a 2023 initiative. It's 2025 now, and we're still like waiting for the booking to be out online. They believe that it will be out early this year. They're hoping for this month, and we're expecting it to be this month. So I'll have a full story on that. But for now, here's a quick snippet of me asking about these phases and what it looks like.
I think our first step right now will get the booking up and running. So that's our main focus right now, because we want to do that for early 2025. The faster we can get creatives in here, the more we can understand what needs to be done. Phase 2, I think, will be only based on the feedback. So until we get creatives in here and they give us feedback, we can't understand what phase 2 is actually going to look like.
So that's just a quick little thing there about Makerspace. But we're going to have, I was there for like 20 minutes, so I'm going to have a full video where it's a whole Q&A and also breaking down exactly what's inside it, what's prohibited inside there, and moreover.
Okay, I'll save my opinion for that. Yeah.
All right. But yes, just so you know, right now, they're actually on the culture.bm website. They've updated a lot more information on it too. So you can definitely check it out. And it has a lot of like frequently asked questions that they now have answers to. Closing out as well with the news this morning, important things to note right now that the Bermuda Police Service is seeking public assistance in locating 18-year-old Nyasia Pitcher. So a police spokesperson said that Ms. Pitcher, a Bermuda national, is described as being 5 feet 11 inches in height, of medium build, light complexioned, with black hair worn in a ponytail. She was last seen in the Camp Hill Walk area around 10 a.m. on Saturday, January the 4th of 2025. When last seen, she was dressed in a pair of gray-colored track pants and a black or dark-colored hoodie. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of 18-year-old Nyasia Pitcher is asked to call the main police number at 295-0011. And just noting the height there, like 5'11", that's quite tall. So hopefully she's able to be spotted quite soon.
Yeah. Not the year way we want to begin a calendar year, but hopefully anyone knows anything, please report her.
Yeah, this is the time to be nosy.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly.
And closing out with the weather this morning, I'm sorry, guys, because it's not looking good in Bermuda right now. It says cloudy showers, heavy at times, less frequent in the afternoon, but winds south strong to gale force winds and gusts to storm forces as well. Looking like some hurricane forces that elevate a little bit later, and in different exposed locations, varying westerly strong gale force winds as well. So we've got a high of 69 degrees Fahrenheit today, but it's not looking good. So make sure you're wearing those raincoats, taking it easy and slow on those roads, and just being very mindful and try to stay dry.
Thank you, Maya. Teray, do you have a days of the year for us on this? What's the date? January 7th, Tuesday?
January 7th, I do. But before that, January 6th was yesterday, and I don't know why, but I thought something was going to happen. Like, I had this impending feeling of doom that, like, something bad was going to happen in the States. And I guess something bad did happen. They certified Trump's win in the election. But today is National Bobblehead Day. I haven't seen one in a minute, but like some people put them on the desk. Do you have one, Maya? Let's see.
Okay, I mean, I guess it kind of qualifies. I mean, it doesn't bubble. His head doesn't bubble, but it's not Iron Man. His eyes will light up.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that eats.
Everyone knows I'm a huge Marvel fan, so Iron Man's my favorite. But yeah.
Yeah, so it's National Bobblehead Day. I really liked seeing them on desk, and it reminded me of how people make their offices their own. I'm really looking forward to doing that. And I think I'll have a bobblehead. Not like yours, Maya. Maybe like one of Barack Obama or Oprah or something.
I've never had a bobblehead, but you know what? We should get some, daily hour bobbleheads. Like Maya.
Yes, give me a Jamal one.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah. We can like tap the head, tap the bald head, and rub the head for good luck.
I'm too tall to touch my head, but anyway. You know what? Audience, since Teray asked for it, and Maya, wants one too, let's do a joke before Maya heads out and we come, take a little break. You guys ready?
Yes, I have faith in you, Jamal. Come on.
Oh, this one's not too good.
All right. Come on.
All right, here we go. It's a New Year's joke, folks. Okay. All right.
We both just sounded disappointed just now. Okay, sorry. Go.
It's the first one I saw. All right, I didn't have much time. I didn't prepare. All right. Teray, Maya, and audience. When is a father the hungriest?
When is a father the hungriest?
I wouldn't know.
When is a father the hungriest?
This is boring, but I'm gonna laugh anyway.
At the end of the day? At the end of the
Dad,
no, I'll give it to you.
Father.
When is the father the hungriest? New Year's morning, because he hasn't eaten all year.
No.
Yo, the fact that you said at the end of the day you were getting there, you were close, but Maya's sipping. Okay.
Because he hasn't eaten all year. And why it's just father? Like gender was a completely irrelevant component in that joke.
I would have said person, but it's it focused on the father. I don't know. It's a dad joke. Maybe,
If they said like at the end of the dad or like made some weird play on day, I would have gotten it.
Nothing. It was nothing. It gave nothing.
When is a dad the most hungriest?
My boy, my favorite co-host, he found it funny. Yeah, my goodness, that was
Marshall. Sorry. Yeah, thank you. That's what I thought. Sorry, I didn't tell Marshall. I ran 10 miles the other day.
Yeah, Maya, tell him why you're running 10 miles.
Because I'm trying to make 24.
Yeah.
Yay! And she's gonna do it. Maya's an Aries. Okay, like she's gonna bull her way over that finish line. I'm telling you.
I'll stick to my 2 miles.
I will make it through though. Yeah, I was very proud of myself.
I'm inspired.
Me too. Look, you are so boring, Jamal. Suzanne Ingham finds it funny. She's rolling. Karen Simmons says, Jamal, ...
Exactly.
Come on. You know what that means? Those dots mean disappointment. Michelle White, well, she's left. Oh my God. Larry Marshall said, well done. Okay, you got
I
one.
think Maya about her 10
Best
marks.
well done I've ever gotten from my gym teacher, everyone.
Oh, I should not say Maya's June.
Yeah, just show it. Well, look, we got to take a quick break. MP, you leaving us or are you sticking around?
I'll stick around.
All right. We'll come back. We'll give our final thoughts. And Tere's going to give us a daily inspiration. But don't miss the daily play today. Like I said, today, daily play is going to be very different. As I said, Mondays, we'll do Bermuda-related trivia. Again, I understand that in Bermuda, it's so hard to retrieve information and find out things like what we're going to be sharing with you. So if no one gets this answer, it's okay. But I do hope at least one person gets it. And I think people are going to say an answer, but it might not be the right one. Stick with us. We'll be back in about 1 minute, 45 seconds, but to the first daily play of the year, and it will be Bermuda trivia. It's sports related.
When it comes to footwear, we carry functional, comfortable, orthopedic, and waterproof shoes. We have construction shoes, golf shoes, shoes for walking, shoes for boating. We even have shoes for pickleball. We have shoes for everyone. With brands by Skechers, Atrax, Propay, Easy Street, Nursemates, Clogs, Avenger, Cherokee, Cat, Frog Talk, and DeWalt. The list goes on.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Live exceptionally with HSBC MasterCard Pay with Rewards. Transform your points into what you love and get closer to winning an unforgettable trip to Dubai or one of 3 luxury experiences in Bermuda. To start following these steps, download the Pay and Rewards app from the App Store or Google Play. Register your HSBC MasterCard credit card in the app. Set your preferences to use points automatically or for your next purchase. Use your HSBC MasterCard for every purchase and redeem your points into rewards. In addition, for every $300 spent with your HSBC MasterCard, earn a chance to win an incredible monthly experience. Terms and conditions apply. HSBC is licensed to conduct banking and investment business by the Bermuda Monetary Authority.
Bermuda Trivia, the Black History Edition, is now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Visit bermudatrivia.com or email contact@bermudatrivia.com to learn more.
Alrighty, welcome back to Big Show. Thanks again to every last one of you who has tuned in today. Honestly, if you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Let's not be selfish with these community conversations. Let's make sure as many people, like-minded or not, have access to these conversations as possible. Thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medical House Lenders, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we can have these conversations with you on a regular basis. It is time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia. Sold a record number of Bermuda Trivia games last year. In December alone, outdid the previous 2. So big ups to everyone who supported Bermuda Trivia. That game was born out of the Daily Play, which we do every day on this show. But Bermuda Trivia is available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, are you ready? It's Bermuda Trivia. Today, it's going to be about Bermuda and Bermudians. You both ready?
Nervous.
Right. Here we go. Audience. Maya, Teray, here's your question for the day. Whew. What former Bermudian football player played for the New York Cosmos alongside the legendary Pele?
That's pretty impressive. I don't know who, though. Okay, not... I don't want to guess Sean Gooder because I feel like that's so wrong.
Probably, that was my guess.
Well, everyone's gotten it wrong. I knew everyone was going to go with this. It's not Randy Horton. Randy Horton actually left the Cosmos the season when Pele came in, and he has this running joke that they couldn't afford them both, but it's not Randy Horton. And I knew no one would know this. Not Randy Horton, not Clyde Best. Sean Go. Was he even born by? Yeah, he was born.
But
Bingo. Of course, Miss Horton's sister would get it. Ellen K. Horton. It was Sam Newsom. Sam Newsom played one season alongside Pele. Sam Newsom, known as Sam Cat Newsom, the father of, I believe, assistant Bermuda coach John Barry, not father, uncle of John Barry Newsom, was a goalkeeper known as one of the best. Sam Cat Newsom. Look up Sam Newsom, folks. Sam Newsom played against who is still known in this day, despite the longevity of Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, the best player to ever kick a football in the sport of football, depending on where you live, soccer, Pele. It was Sam Newsom, played one season alongside Pele for the New York Cosmos.
That is really cool. I need to get up on my football players. I didn't know much names other than Clyde Bass and Sean Goder from the past, truthfully.
Yeah.
Same.
Mark R.T. Phillips says, this is sad. Why don't I know this? No, it's not sad. Because as I stated, go Google it and see how hard it is to find that. It's not hard to find out that Sam Newsom played for the Cosmos, but it's hard to find out if he played with Pele. But my point is, there's going to be a lot of this coming because I know I was supposed to be off during the Christmas break, but with Bermuda Trivia and the stuff that I do, I'm like, man, I didn't know this. I didn't know that. I would have answered Randy Horton if you told me that, because I remember Larry Marshall Jr. and I were at a game in New England when Connor Smith was playing for New England Revolution. And these two Italian gentlemen were sitting close to us, and they I don't know if Larry remembers this, but they asked us where we were from. He said, Bermuda. Oh, we used to play for the Cosmos with Randy Horton. Do you know him? Yeah, he's a politician. And, conversation just started like that. But you just don't know these things. And we, on this show, will take great responsibility in continuing to educate the Bermudian people and ourselves, because I'm being educated in the process. I did not know this, folks. So I'm not going to sit there and act like I'm better than you or you're less than me. Do not be ashamed to not know this stuff. That's why this show exists. Anyway.
Yeah.
See, Larry does remember. Yep. See, look, of course you would know, Mr. Smith, the editor of the RG. Yeah. Sam the Cat Newsom. Yep. See, Yep. See, Charles didn't know. Anyway, anything on that before we move on, guys? No?
I love that.
Yeah, I'm happy that you taught us something new there, and I'm going to have to buy that one. I just bought the Black History one, so now I'm going to have to buy the sports one.
Yeah, we can start cheating, Maya.
Well, I don't think that question's in Bermuda Trivia, the game. No, and that's one more thing we need to clear. Not every question that we ask is going to be in Bermuda Trivia card game, but it may be in future editions.
Okay.
And we had people reach out during the Christmas break asking about the question about the first, the governor and whatnot. And I'm like, that may be something Sean done on social media or something, but it's not everything's in the actual games that are produced. So that said, any final thoughts from you guys this morning? First show of the calendar year. I mean, Maya, anything you're happy about being back and the conversation this morning on your news break? I love the new format, as Teray said, and the audience was saying, I love what you did. How much work it takes. I'm proud to be back with you guys. Look, I don't say this, and I'm gonna delete this. Maya's gonna delete it for me. We're gonna find a way, but I missed you all. And I said, all right.
I agree. I missed you guys. I missed the show. I felt like I really did get a break though for the first time ever. Like, because Jamal, you didn't really hit me up to do nothing. I didn't hit you up to do nothing. Like we're like, keeping that like distance, just to not do so much work and just like enjoy being around family, resting. I mean, I love being home though, because I love covering a local story. I love being with the people and asking questions and getting out there. So it was enjoyable to have those moments to do the stories I was able to do while I was home. If anyone caught them on the show or even on my platform, but it was just great. It was great vibes to go out, do streeters. But this morning's show, so happy to be back. So happy to be back within the community, within the space, within everyone commenting, sharing, and being able to continue these conversations, because it's going to be a big year, 2025. We're expecting a lot, political wise and sports wise as well. It's going to be something to cover, and with our arts community too. Like I'm excited for it. I'm ready to drum it up and continue having these conversations, come back every single day with you guys.
Indeed. Teray, anything on today's conversation? Happy to be back.
Very happy to be back. I feel really inspired by today's conversation. I also loved your rant, Jamal, and I loved your news segment, Maya. Like, I thought it was great. And I also missed the Daily Hour. I found myself checking. I was like, maybe I'm just out of the loop. Maybe it's happening. But I definitely missed it, and I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, indeed. No, I'm glad to be back. I think this today's show. I think I just had a lot stuck in. As Maya said, I totally disconnected. There were posts I had to go. Oh, is today's date? I enjoyed waking up late. I mean, just yesterday, my pops waking me up like 9. I'm like, man, that's my last day to sleep in. But I did enjoy the break. And although Maya said I didn't hit up, man, I was there. I'm like, man, should I ask her? Should I ask her? And I kept my discipline. But until she reached out to me about something this weekend, I was like, no, I can ask her something.
Yeah.
But I say that because it's so important to respect people's time and their time to get away from work. Work is not life. It shouldn't be life. No matter what you do for a living, your work is not your life. And I hope that sticks with everyone as we get into this calendar year. As far as the conversation this morning, I want to say this. The audience basically told us what the conversation needs to be going forward. Anyone that comes to you with a slogan, ask them to define what they mean. Because building a fairer Bermuda looks very differently for Teray, for Maya, and for me. If there's 20, 30,000 plus voters, it's going to look different for all of them as well. You have the easy job, and that's voting. Don't allow the politician to have an easier job than that. Ray, do you have any daily inspiration for us?
I do. This is from one of my favorite books last year. I just finished it like on Christmas Day. It's called 101 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think by Brianna Weiss. And it says, you think problems are roadblocks to achieving what you want, when in reality they are pathways. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Simply running into a problem forces you to take action to resolve it. This action will inevitably lead you to think differently, behave differently, and choose differently.
Man,
that's the truth.
Woo. Behave differently. Thank you. Folks, as we head out, do us a favor. We haven't done this in a while, but we're going to do it since the first show of the year. We're going to start with our team. We're going to do a roll call. Let us know where you're tuned in from. And if you're in Bermuda, say what parish at least. But where are you tuned in from? Where are you guys today, Maya and Teray?
Toronto.
Toronto, okay. Atlanta, folks. I'm in Atlanta. Where's everybody at? Let's do a little, let us know where you are. A little roll call. First show of 2025. This is episode 1065. We've got Town. No, hold up. Let's say Ton in it. Ton.
Yeah, Ton.
We got Mark Arthur Phillips is in Ton. We've got Hamilton Parish, says Karen Simmons. Smith's Bermuda, says Traveling Charlie. Portugal. I love that. Love that. Portugal. On the other side, Marquita Lee says Pembroke, and that was Sean Smith. Warwick, Bermuda, says Manuela John. We've got Smith's Parish, Adeline Swan, Sands. Is it Sandys or Sands?
Come on now.
Come on now. Ellen K.
No, but seriously though, I do want to know because I say Sands, but am I offending Sands?
You know what? We're going to settle that in 2025. Shikarina says Charlotte, North Carolina. Home of the birthplace of Michael Jordan. Suzanne Ingham says in Paget, working. Natalie Harper says Atlanta. We've got Sean at Bell says work at BFNM. That's in Hamilton, Bermuda, folks. We've got the UK in the house. Kathy Rogers, appreciate you. Thank you so much. Everybody, Smith Parish, Michelle White. Devonshire says Michelle Doors. Angela Dill says Pembroke. Nana Pam. Pembroke, folks, we've got to run. We've got Sands. It's not Sandy's, so it's Sands.
Thank you. Yeah, Sands. So I thought. Thank you.
All right, folks, do us a big favor. We've got Jamaica in the house. Stacey Ann Brown, thank you so much. Folks, do us a big favor before we head out. Do us this one big favor. Give us a like, whatever platform you're on. There's over 100 of you tuned in live right now. A like, love, follow, share it with your friends, your family, your colleagues. We have to ensure that as many people have access to these community conversations as possible. You're going to see a lot more of us in the community this year. Believe that. You will. Don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Teray Tal. She's Maya Palacio. I'm Jamel Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We is out. Peace.